The crash in no man's space. The stars were quiet. Too quiet. Captain Eli Ward sat in the pilot's seat of his small rescue ship, staring into the empty dark of deep space. He had seen many things in his life. Wars, alien ruins, strange signals. But tonight, he felt something different. A cold feeling in his chest. A warning from deep inside. His ship, the Sparrow, drifted through what was known as no man's space, a dead zone between human and alien territories. No one came here unless they were lost, hiding, or hunting. Suddenly, his screen beeped. Incoming distress signal. Source: unknown ship. Life signs detected. Signal code: pre-human era. Eli frowned. Pre-human code. That meant it was ancient, possibly alien. He activated the scanner. A dark, broken ship appeared on his screen, floating alone among shattered asteroids. Its hull was burnt. No engines, no weapons, no name. Just a soft, pulsing blue light in the center. Eli spoke into his comms. "This is Captain Eli Ward of the Terran Rescue Corps. Approaching unknown vessel. Respond if you're alive." No answer. He sighed. "All right. Let's see who's calling for help." Strapping on his suit and grabbing his plasma cutter, he left the Sparrow and drifted across space toward the strange ship. As he entered through a torn airlock, the lights inside flickered. The walls were covered in strange symbols, flowing like water, glowing faintly. He had never seen writing like this. The ship groaned, like it was breathing. "Creepy," Eli whispered. He moved slowly, scanning for life signs. The scanner beeped again. Life form. Clothes. Weak. Female. Non-human. His eyes followed the signal to a door barely hanging on its hinges. He pushed it open with effort. Inside was a round chamber with smooth walls. In the center, lying motionless on a metal table, was a figure. An alien girl. She looked young, maybe 17 in human years. Her skin was pale silver, glowing slightly in the dim light. Her hair flowed around her like liquid metal, long and shining. But her body was damaged. Cuts on her arms, a strange black burn on her side. She was dying. Eli stepped closer. "Hey, can you hear me?" Her eyes opened slowly. They were large, violet, and filled with pain. She didn't speak, but she saw him. And for a moment, Eli saw something deep in her gaze. Fear and trust. "I'm here to help," he said softly. He touched his comm. "Base, I found a survivor. Non-human female. Critical condition. Request evac." Suddenly, boom. The ship shook violently. Eli was thrown to the floor. A loud alarm screamed through his suit. "Explosion detected. Your ship has been destroyed." His heart dropped. The Sparrow was gone. Eli tried to stand, but pain hit him like fire. A sharp metal pipe had stabbed through his side. Blood soaked his suit. Breathing became hard. He looked at the alien girl one last time. "Guess, we're both dying now." She looked at him calmly, even kindly. Then, with trembling fingers, she reached up to her own head and plucked a strand of her silver hair. Eli could only watch, confused, as she leaned forward and pressed the glowing strand to his wound. The hair melted into his skin. He gasped. Pain shot through his body, but then stopped. The bleeding stopped. The wound closed in seconds. His heartbeat slowed. His breathing returned. He stared at his side. No scar, no hole, just smooth skin. What the hell? Then he noticed his veins glowing faint blue. His fingers felt lighter, stronger. The alien girl fainted, her body falling back on the table. Eli looked at her, his heart racing. "What did you do to me?" The ship around him was still falling apart. He had no escape, no backup, no answers. But one thing was clear. He was not dying anymore. He was changing. The change begins. Captain Eli Ward sat quietly in the ruined alien chamber, surrounded by cold metal, flickering lights, and silence. The dead ship floated in deep space like a forgotten tomb. Outside, stars blinked like tiny, distant eyes, watching. He stared at his hands. They didn't look like his hands anymore. His skin was still human, mostly, but his veins now glowed faint blue under the surface. The light pulsed slowly in rhythm with his heartbeat. His fingers felt stronger, quicker, lighter. When he pressed his palm against the wall, he felt a strange hum, a vibration inside the ship, like it was alive, and somehow speaking to him. He pulled his hand back. "What is happening to me?" he whispered. The alien girl was still unconscious, lying on the smooth metal table. Her breathing was slow but steady. Her silver hair, the same hair she had used to heal him, now seemed duller, like it had lost some of its glow. He sat beside her, unsure what to do. His rescue ship was destroyed. No one knew where he was. The alien ship had power, but its controls were a mystery, and the only other living being on board had just changed his entire body with a single strand of hair. As he stared into the dark room, a voice echoed in his mind, not through his ears. "You are linked." He stood up, spinning around, hand on his weapon. Who said that? No one was there. Then his eyes fell on her. The girl, still unconscious, but her lips moved. Again, the voice came, not through sound, not through words, but inside. "Linked, bound, one." Eli's heart raced. "You're in my head." Her eyes opened slowly. Their eyes met, and suddenly, a wave of images crashed into his mind. Planets with twin suns, giant silver trees, cities floating in space, a war, fire, screams, shadows, her people running, hiding, dying. He stepped back, dizzy. What was that? She sat up, weak but alert. Her violet eyes were sad. "Memory. Yours now. Mine too." Her voice was strange, not with sound, but with feelings, ideas, thoughts sent directly to his mind. "You saved me," Eli said. "But how? That hair, what did it do to me?" She looked at his hands, at the blue veins. "Changed you," she said. "Healed the body, opened the mind. Now, not fully human." Eli shook his head. "I didn't ask for this." She nodded. "But you were dying. My people. We do not let life end if we can stop it." He took a deep breath. His body didn't feel broken anymore, but it didn't feel like his body either. Then came a loud beeping. A screen lit up behind them. "Alert. Ship approaching. Unknown ID. 30 minutes to arrival." The alien girl's eyes widened. She whispered one word. "Hunters." Eli turned to her. "They're after you, aren't they?" She nodded slowly. "They followed me. My kind is rare now. We are almost gone. And I am the last healer." His mind raced. "So they want you alive. Or dead." She closed her eyes. "They'd want the hair. Not me." Eli gritted his teeth. "Then we need to move. We need to fix this ship and leave." She shook her head. "Ship is too broken. Controls dead. Systems offline." He stared at the control panel. Dead, black screens, cracked lights. Still, something inside him whispered. A pull. A guide. He walked to the panel. He didn't know why, but he reached out and placed his hand on the surface. The panel lit up. The ship hummed. The alien girl gasped. "It listens to you now." He pulled his hand back. "Why?" "You carry my blood now. My memory. The ship thinks you are one of us." Eli looked at the screen. Strange alien symbols moved quickly across it, but he could read them. "How the hell do I understand this?" "Your mind. Unlocked," she said. "My gift opened parts of you. Hidden parts. Now, your brain can receive." Eli turned to her, both amazed and terrified. So I'm a human with alien software running in my head. She tilted her head. Strange words. But, yes. He took a deep breath. All right. Let's do this. If the ship listens to me, maybe I can fix it. She stood slowly, still weak. I will guide you. But we must be fast. Hunters do not wait. As they moved toward the engine room, the lights began to flicker back on, one by one. The ship was waking up, responding to Eli. He felt its systems, its controls, like distant limbs in his own body. He was becoming something new. But was that a gift or a curse? Behind them, the countdown ticked, 25 minutes until the hunters arrived. Eli clenched his jaw. For now, only one thing mattered: survival. But deep inside, he knew this was bigger than survival. This was transformation. Hunted by the stars, the ship was no longer silent. It groaned and breathed like a living beast, its walls humming as systems slowly came online. Faint blue lights pulsed through the floors and ceilings, as if reacting to Eli's steps. The air felt warmer now. Alive. Eli Ward moved fast, but carefully. His boots echoed in the long hallway. The alien girl, Lyra, just behind him. She looked stronger than before, but still walked slowly, one hand against the wall to balance herself. The screen in the control room had given a clear warning. Hostile ship approaching. 17 minutes until contact. Eli's heart pounded with every step. How many? He asked. Lyra closed her eyes and touched the wall. Her voice appeared in his head. One ship. Small. Fast. Silent. Eli frowned. A stealth class. She nodded. Hunters do not come loud. They come, like shadows. Eli had fought pirates before. He had faced enemy ships. But this was something different. These weren't just killers. These were professionals, silent assassins, people who hunted endangered species for profit or power. And now they were coming for her. He reached the engine room, a large space filled with strange, curved machines, glowing cables, and floating crystals. It didn't look like any human ship. There were no wires, no metal tools, just smooth shapes, soft light, and a quiet, gentle hum. How do I restart this thing? Eli asked. Lyra stepped beside him. You already have. He blinked. What? She pointed. The ship breathes again. It recognizes you. Eli looked around. The floating crystals in the engine were pulsing with his heartbeat. Each pulse sent power through glowing lines across the walls. He didn't understand how, but he felt connected to it all. Still, something was wrong. The thrusters, he muttered. They're still cold. This thing won't move without thrust. He placed his hand on a crystal. A sharp wave of energy surged into his body. For a second, he saw visions, memories that weren't his. An alien ship taking off from a silver city. A young girl laughing. And then, flames, screaming, hunters. He pulled his hand back, breathing hard. Lyra placed her hand gently on his shoulder. You saw what I saw, she said. My home, my fall. Eli turned to her. They destroyed your world. She nodded. And they will do the same again, unless we stop them. Suddenly, the ship's alert screamed through the halls. Proximity alert. Hostile ship within 1,000 meters. Docking claws extended. Eli grabbed Lyra's hand. They're here. The floor vibrated. The alien ship shook slightly as the enemy ship latched on. Outside, two metallic claws locked onto the hull. A loud hiss echoed down the corridor. They're boarding, Eli said. We don't have time. He handed Lyra a small plasma cutter from his belt. Stay behind me. If anything comes through those doors, you run. Lyra looked at him. You are brave, but you are still changing. Eli took a breath. Then let them meet the new me. The docking doors groaned open. Eli waited, crouched behind a curved console. His pulse was steady, too steady. He felt no fear, only focus. His eyes adjusted to the darkness. His ears picked up faint footsteps, 3 of them, light and fast, moving like predators. They entered the ship, 3 figures in black armor, smooth helmets. No words, just hand signals. Professional. Cold. The lead hunter moved toward the engine room, scanning. Then, Eli moved. He jumped from the shadows, faster than he had ever moved before. He grabbed the first hunter by the neck and slammed him into the wall. Armor cracked. The man fell without a sound. The second turned, raising a weapon, but Eli was already there. A punch to the stomach sent him flying across the hall. The third hunter fired. The shot hit Eli in the chest. Hard. He stumbled back. Pain. Then nothing. He looked down. His suit had been burned through, but his skin was glowing blue. No blood. No wound. The third hunter hesitated. Eli didn't. He moved like lightning, twisting the gun from the hunter's hands and slamming him into the floor. Silence returned. Lyra stepped forward, wide-eyed. "You fought like us." Eli looked at his hands again. They didn't shake. They pulsed with energy. "I shouldn't be able to do that," he said. "You're becoming more than you were," she said softly. "Your body is adapting. My gift is growing inside you." He looked at the 3 hunters, unconscious, or worse, on the floor. They had come silently, with training, armor, and weapons, but they had fallen. To him, and he hadn't even needed a gun. Suddenly, the ship's systems blinked. Core activated, thrusters online. Eli grinned. "Looks like we're flying." But then Lyra touched her head, pain flashing across her face. "What is it?" he asked. She looked up. That was only a scout team. "The real ship is coming now." Eli turned to the screen. Multiple ships, estimated arrival. 1 hour. He clenched his fists. "We need to get out of here. Fast." She looked at him. And then, he stared at the stars. "Then we find out what I've become, before it's too late." The memory code. The ship moved through space like a silent shadow, leaving behind broken wreckage, 3 unconscious hunters, and a mystery that was just beginning to unfold. Eli stood at the front viewport of the alien ship, watching stars slide past like streaks of light. Every pulse from the engine vibrated through his chest, as if the ship's heartbeat had synced with his own. He had no map, no destination, just a feeling deep inside, guiding them forward. Behind him, Lyra sat quietly, eyes closed, her long silver hair floating slightly around her face. Her breathing was calm now. She was healing, but Eli wasn't sure he was. His hands glowed faintly when he clenched them. His skin stayed warm, even in the freezing cold. And every hour, new thoughts, not his, rose in his mind. Thoughts of alien stars, ancient battles, and strange languages he could now understand. He hadn't asked for this, but he couldn't turn back. Something inside him was unlocking. And it wasn't stopping. That night, or whatever night meant in deep space, Eli tried to sleep. But dreams came. Wild, vivid dreams. He stood on a crystal plain, under 2 suns. Thousands of silver-haired people danced in silence. Above them, a giant tree of light touched the stars. Suddenly, fire rained from the sky. Ships with red engines, weapons that split the land. He turned. Lyra was screaming. Her people ran. Eli couldn't move. He watched as the tree cracked and fell, light exploding into the air. A strand of silver hair floated down and touched his chest. He woke up gasping. His hands were glowing again. The walls of the ship pulsed softly, almost like they were reacting to his emotions. "Not dreams," a voice said beside him. He turned. Lyra stood at the doorway, watching him. "You saw it too?" he asked. She nodded. You see what I see. My memories, now inside you. He sat up, breathing hard. Why is it happening? Why me? Lyra stepped forward, her expression calm but serious. My hair holds more than healing. It holds knowledge. My people called it a memory code. Eli frowned. You mean DNA? She shook her head. More than DNA. It is our story, our emotions, our past, passed from one to another. Eli stood slowly. So now your memories are inside me. She nodded. Yes. Your body accepted the gift. And now, your mind opens. He paced the room. That's why I can read your language. Control the ship. Fight like someone else. You are becoming one of us, she said quietly. He stopped walking. I'm human, he said. Lyra walked closer. You are more than human now, not less. But Eli looked down at his hands again. They didn't feel like his anymore. I didn't want this, he said. I just wanted to help someone in trouble. I didn't ask to be rewritten. You didn't ask to die either, she replied gently. But you did, for a moment. And I brought you back. They stood in silence. Then Eli asked, why did you do it? She looked away. Because I didn't want to be alone anymore. Later, they entered a glowing chamber deep in the ship, a room filled with floating spheres of light. Each sphere shimmered, spinning slowly in the air. Lyra reached out and touched one. It lit up, projecting a memory into the air. A woman with silver hair, laughing, holding a baby, singing in a language Eli now understood. She was my mother, Lyra said softly. These are what we call echoes. She touched another sphere. A battle, giant machines, silver cities falling. We saved our knowledge in these spheres, carried them on ships, but most were destroyed. Eli looked around. There were only 12 spheres. This is all that's left. She nodded. And now, you carry more than all of them combined. Eli's chest felt heavy. I'm not a library, he said. I'm a soldier, a broken one. Lyra smiled faintly. No, you're something new. Suddenly, the ship's alarms rang. Unknown vessel detected. Pursuing. ETA. 20 minutes. Eli ran to the control panel. The screen showed a sharp, black ship, sleek, fast, and heavily armed. They found us again, he said. Lyra's face turned pale. That is not a hunter ship. That is something worse. Eli looked at her. Worse. She nodded. That ship is from the ones who destroyed my people, the collectors. They steal DNA, knowledge, power. They want you now. Eli gritted his teeth. Let them come. But Lyra grabbed his arm. No, you don't understand. If they take you, they will become you. Eli stared at the screen. If the collectors got him, they wouldn't just gain strength. They'd gain humanity. And something alien. A hybrid weapon with memories of two worlds. He clenched his fists. Then we run. Lyra looked him in the eyes. Or we fight. And unlock the last memory. He blinked. Last memory. She nodded. It's inside you. I felt it. Locked. Buried deep. A code left by my people. In case of extinction. Eli took a shaky breath. And how do I unlock it? Lyra stepped closer. You have to remember what it means. To be both human and more. He turned to the stars, his heart thundering. If this was just the beginning, what was waiting at the end? Betrayal on Earth. The blue curve of Earth appeared in the distance, beautiful and bright. Eli Ward hadn't seen it in months, not since his last mission. It felt both familiar and far away. Like home, and like a memory. Inside the alien ship, the cockpit lights dimmed as the vessel slowed, entering stealth mode. The planet's orbit was heavily monitored, and Lyra's ship was not meant to be seen. If Earth detected an unknown alien craft, They would shoot first, and ask questions never. Lyra sat behind him, silent. She hadn't spoken since the warning. The collectors are coming, and Earth will never be ready. Eli had only one plan: return to Earth, warn the humans, and get help before it was too late. But he forgot one thing. He wasn't just a human anymore. They landed in a hidden valley deep in the mountains of Alaska. Cold winds howled across frozen trees. No cities, no satellites, just snow and silence. Eli stepped out first. His boots sank into the snow. The cold didn't bother him. Not anymore. Lyra followed, wrapping herself in a dark cloak that hid her glowing hair. "This is your home?" she asked softly. He nodded. It was. They moved fast, avoiding satellite paths and military eyes. Eli still remembered the secret access route, an old military emergency outpost built into a cliff. After 2 hours of hiking, the entrance came into view, a steel door covered in snow. Eli placed his hand on the scanner. It didn't beep. It glowed. The door slid open instantly. Lyra looked at him. "Your signal is different now. Human tech accepts you because it doesn't know what you've become." Eli frowned. "Let's hope it doesn't find out." Inside the outpost, dim emergency lights flickered on. Old monitors and radios buzzed to life. Eli activated the uplink. "Command, this is Captain Eli Ward. Code Alpha 7. Urgent message. Priority black. I repeat, this is Ward, reporting from deep space. I have first contact data and a threat to humanity." Static. Then, "Captain Ward, you're supposed to be dead." It was Commander Briggs. Old voice. Strong. Cold. "I was," Eli replied. "But I got better." 2 hours later, a dropship landed outside the outpost. Soldiers poured out, guns up, eyes cold. They weren't here for a reunion. They were here for containment. Briggs stepped off the ship. Gray-haired, tall, sharp eyes. He walked up to Eli and stopped. "You don't look dead." "I'm not." "You don't look human either." Eli stared back. "I brought a warning. And I brought proof." Briggs looked past him and saw Lyra. The soldiers raised their weapons instantly. "Stand down," Eli shouted. Briggs held up a hand. The soldiers froze, but stayed ready. "Who is she?" Briggs asked. "She's not the enemy," Eli said. "She saved my life." "She changed you," Briggs said coldly. Eli nodded. "Yes, because I was dying." Briggs stepped closer. "Then maybe you should have died." Eli's jaw clenched. "You don't understand. There's a bigger threat coming. The ones who wiped out her people. They want her. And now they want me." He took a breath. "Because I carry something. Inside me. A memory. A code. Something her people left behind. And if the enemy gets it, it's over." Briggs didn't blink. "And you expect me to believe that?" "No," Eli said. "I expect you to listen." For 2 hours, Eli told them everything. About the healing. The hair. The hunters. The collectors. Lyra stayed silent, letting him speak. When he finished, the room fell quiet. Briggs turned to his men. "Take them both into custody." "What?" Eli stepped back. "You can't be serious." "You're infected with unknown alien tech," Briggs replied. "That makes you a biohazard. And her. She's the source. You're a threat to national security." Eli laughed bitterly. "You really think I'm the threat?" Briggs's face turned cold. "You're not Eli Ward anymore. You're a hybrid. We don't know what you'll become." Lyra whispered in his mind. "They fear what they don't understand." 2 soldiers stepped forward with stun cuffs. Eli's hands sparked with blue light. "Don't," he warned. Briggs narrowed his eyes. "So it's true. You are becoming one of them." "I'm becoming better," Eli said. "And I came to help." "You came to warn us," Briggs said. "Then consider the message received. Now get on your knees." Eli's eyes glowed faint blue. "I didn't want to fight." His voice changed. It echoed, deeper now. Almost doubled. One voice human, the other alien. "But I'm not walking into a cage." Lyra stepped forward. "Eli, don't." But it was too late. The soldiers fired stun bolts. Eli moved faster than lightning. A flick of his hand, and the blasts bent in midair, redirected into the ceiling. Gasps. Screams. One soldier rushed forward. Eli grabbed his arm, and the man froze, paralyzed. "I don't want to hurt anyone," Eli said, "but I will leave." Briggs pulled out a sidearm. Lyra's eyes lit up. "No." Eli turned just as the shot fired. He caught the bullet. With 2 fingers. Silence fell. Eli dropped the bullet to the floor. Then he took Lyra's hand. "Let's go." The ship was waiting. Hidden. Cloaked. Within minutes, they were back in the sky, leaving behind snow, betrayal, and fear. Inside the ship, Eli stood at the viewport. Lyra stood beside him. "They were your people," she said gently. "They still are," he replied. "They just don't see it yet." Lyra looked at him. "You unlocked another memory." He blinked. "What?" She nodded. "The bullet. The catch." That was an echo, a defense move. Ancient. Lost. Until now. Eli breathed slowly. "The code's waking up." She touched his shoulder. "And when the last part wakes, you will be more than one person. You'll be a bridge between worlds." He didn't answer, because deep inside, a new voice had started to whisper, and it sounded like both of them. The battle for identity. The stars outside looked peaceful, but inside the ship, Eli Ward stood in silence, facing himself in the reflection of the cockpit glass. His eyes, once sharp and human, now glowed softly with blue light. Not bright, not blinding, just different. His veins pulsed with power. His skin was warmer, smoother. Even the way he stood felt alien, calm, centered, balanced. He wasn't sure who he was anymore. But something inside told him he'd need to decide soon. The collectors were closing in. One of their scout ships had tracked Eli and Lyra as they escaped Earth. It attacked without warning, firing plasma bursts at their ship. Eli responded without thinking. His hands touched the controls, but he didn't just fly the ship. He became it. The vessel moved like a thought. It dodged, weaved, dove through asteroid fields. It wasn't speed, it was instinct. Eli's mind was linked with the alien tech now. The ship obeyed him like it was alive. They escaped, but barely. And Lyra was injured. Now she lay in the healing chamber, pale and quiet. Her silver hair had lost its shine. The ends turned black, burned by enemy energy weapons. Eli sat beside her, watching the strands flicker in and out of light. "She gave me her gift," he whispered. "And now it's killing her." The ship's AI, still silent but aware, opened the memory chamber. Eli stepped inside. The floating memory spheres blinked like stars in a galaxy of thought. He had unlocked many already. Battles, peace, flight, history. But one sphere hovered in the center now, glowing bright white. He had never touched it. Until now. He reached out. The moment he touched the sphere, the world vanished. And he was standing, in her memory. Not just a vision. He was inside it. The scene. A great council room made of crystal. Elders sat in a circle. At the center stood a young girl. Lyra, smaller, afraid. "You must carry the last code," an elder said. "If our people fall, your hair may awaken one who can carry our light." "But it will kill me," Lyra whispered. "Yes," the elder said. "But through death, we become forever." The vision shattered. Eli staggered back, gasping. She had known. Lyra had chosen to heal him, knowing the price. He rushed back to the healing chamber. Her breathing was shallow now. The black strands of her hair were spreading fast. He grabbed her hand. "Stay with me." She opened her eyes. Barely. "You carry everything now," she whispered. "Our hope, our memory, our voice." He shook his head. "No, I don't want to be a symbol. I just want you to live." Lyra smiled weakly. "Then remember who you are." Eli blinked. "What do you mean?" Her voice echoed in his mind. "Not human. Not alien. Both. You are the bridge. You decide what the future becomes." Then her hand went limp. Her eyes closed. The silver glow faded. "No," Eli whispered. But suddenly, the ship responded. It pulsed. It sang. A wave of energy spread from the floor. Every wall glowed blue. And Eli heard it. A code. Awakening. Inside him. Flashes filled his mind. He saw Lyra's childhood. He saw his own past. He saw both at once. He saw Earth. He saw the stars. He saw the collectors. He saw the secret of the last gift. It wasn't just knowledge. It wasn't just power. It was unity. Human courage and alien wisdom combined. And he now carried it all. But to save Lyra, he had to use it. Not the power, the memory. He reached for her hair, now blackened and fading. With trembling hands, he plucked one final silver strand from his own head. His transformation had gone far enough. He placed the strand against her heart. Nothing happened. At first. Then, a spark. A glow. Her chest rose. Her eyes fluttered open. The light returned. Not just to her. To both of them. Moments later, the ship's warning sounded. Collector fleet approaching. 4 ships. 15 minutes. Eli stood up. His eyes now glowed silver blue. His voice was calm. "They're not coming for her anymore," he said. "They're coming for me." Lyra sat up slowly, stronger. "You're ready now." He looked at her. "No, we are." They stood in the war chamber, walls alive with energy. The ship began to shift, reshape. Not a weapon, not a fortress. Something new. Eli placed both hands on the control sphere. The ship connected fully to him. He wasn't just in it. He was it. Outside, the collector fleet dropped from hyperspace, silent, dark, cruel. Inside, Eli's ship glowed bright. He reached out his mind, and the stars themselves seemed to answer. His voice echoed across the ship. "Let them come. Hero of 2 worlds." In the darkness of space, 4 collector ships hung like vultures, surrounding the lone alien vessel now piloted by Eli Ward. But this was no ordinary ship anymore. It had awakened. Its body shimmered with glowing symbols, its shape shifting in small ways every second, alive, aware, and in complete sync with Eli's thoughts. Inside the cockpit, Eli stood calmly. The blue and silver glow in his eyes no longer flickered. It was steady, focused. Lyra stood beside him, her strength restored, her silver hair flowing once more like liquid starlight. "They outnumber us," she said softly. "They always did," Eli replied. The collectors sent a message. "Surrender. We want the hybrid. We want the code." Eli didn't respond. He placed his hand on the console. The ship pulsed in response. Every panel lit up. Every memory, every gift, activated. Lyra touched the side of the ship. Her voice echoed in Eli's mind. "Whatever happens, you are not alone." Eli smiled. "Let's show them what alone really means." The battle began. Collector ships fired beams of black plasma. Fast, hot, deadly. Eli's ship danced through space like a thought made real. He didn't push buttons. He didn't give commands. He felt the moves, and the ship obeyed. The hull shifted mid-flight, absorbing hits, reshaping itself to strike back. Eli's ship returned fire, not just with weapons, but with memory. Every energy pulse carried more than heat. It carried code. Alien code. Human code. Combined. The blasts short-circuited collector shields. One enemy ship spiraled out of control, exploding in silence. 3 remained. They changed tactics. One moved to block escape. Another circled wide to flank. The third charged directly. Inside the cockpit, Eli's vision expanded. He could see all of them. Not on screens, but in his mind. Their movements, their timing, their weakness. This was no longer war. This was evolution. One collector ship docked onto the side of Eli's vessel. Soldiers poured in. Metal suits, red visors, weapons aimed. But Eli was waiting. They surrounded him. Then he raised his hand. A burst of light knocked them all back, gently, not to kill, but to stop. They lay frozen, stunned, eyes wide. Eli stepped forward. "You don't have to die here, but you will not take this gift." He turned his back, and the soldiers didn't follow. Because they saw now. He wasn't just a man. He was a message. Outside, the 2 remaining collector ships formed a fusion beam, a weapon strong enough to crack planets. They fired. Eli saw it coming. Time seemed to slow. He turned to Lyra. "This is the last moment. Are you with me?" She took his hand. To the end. They reached out, together, toward the control sphere. Every memory, every emotion, every loss, every act of love. It surged into the ship. The vessel changed, one final time. Its form dissolved into light. And then, it split into 2. One part blocked the beam. A massive burst of energy swallowed the fusion fire. The other part, Eli and Lyra's piece, raced forward, through the light, straight into the collector command ship. There was no explosion, no fire, only silence and light. When the flash faded, only stars remained. The collector ships were gone. No wreckage, no pieces, just peace. 1 week later, Earth received a signal, not from space, but from the moon. A glowing structure had appeared overnight, small, silent, alive. Scientists approached, carefully. The walls shimmered and showed images. Eli Ward, Lyra, their journey, their sacrifice. Inside, a child's voice spoke, a message for all humanity. The code lives on. The memory is safe. One of us was born from 2 worlds and chose peace. So can you. The memory ended with Eli standing between stars and earth, arms open, voice calm. I was human, then I was something more. But in the end, I was both, and that made me whole. The Moon Temple still stands today. And sometimes, when the stars are right, it glows, and people swear they hear a voice inside. Let them come, not as a warning, but as a welcome.